Okay, now today you wanted to talk a bit more about the aliens.
Yeah, well, I've done a lot of music on the aliens, and I read a lot about space travel, and the possibilities of alien intelligence. So I just wanted to share a couple more musings about the aliens. One thing I want people to realise is it's interesting. The movie Arrival. I really enjoyed the movie Arrival, where I only watched parts of it, but basically the gist of the movie was the aliens arrive and they come down and they're far superior to us and far more advanced than us. Um, and then they present us with information in their language, and a linguist is hired. I believe she was meant to be a linguist, the main woman, and she's hired to begin communication and to decipher the aliens' language. I think that's basically what happens in Arrival. I didn't watch the whole movie. I thought it was fantastic, though, the bits I watched. But what people should realise is if this super intelligent species that were thousands, potentially millions of years more advanced than us in their technology and their evolution were to come here, there probably wouldn't be any need for any deciphering because they would have already assessed our planet, they would have studied us at length, and they would probably have catalogued all of our languages. See, the thing you've got to realise is if there are these super advanced species, if they do exist, these interstellar species, they will know everything about us already. So should they choose, like they do in the movie Arrival, to turn up and park their ships on our planet to say hello to us, we're not going to have to do much at all to learn how to communicate with them. They'll have all that figured out already. They'll already know all of our history. They'll have tapped into all of our computers, picked up all our radio signals, studied our television signals, studied our radio signals, studied any signals we're emitting at all. They would have already monitored the planet extensively before they come. So they will know absolutely everything about us. So if it ever did eventuate in this scenario where they turn up and say, hey, here we are, and they want to talk to us, they'll lead the way. And they'll already be able to have translators and machines that can translate what they're saying to us so that we can understand exactly what they're saying. It will be very, very simple. It won't be difficult at all because they'll already know all our languages. So that's one of the musings I wanted to share with you. If the ETs arrive, like they do in Arrival, we won't need to decipher their language. They will have our languages deciphered already, and they will be ready to translate, and it will be a very simple process. Also, I wanted to talk about detecting alien civilizations. People don't realise I'm still learning about it. We had that telescope up that was the exoplanet finder, which found all those planets that were in the habitable zone. Then they decommissioned that satellite about 6 years ago, and I'm not sure that telescope about 6 years ago. And I think it's a shame that it was decommissioned. But now we've got the James Webb up there, and I think the James Webb is capable of studying exoplanets as well. But the thing is, one of the first ways we're probably going to be able to say definitively that there is a civilization on a planet is our telescopes will detect the signs of pollution in the planet's atmosphere, and we'll be able to say based on that pollution could only be caused by industry and technology and development. So we'll be able to determine that there is a technologically advanced civilization on the planet because we'll see the signs in the atmosphere of the pollution and the damage that they're doing to their planet. Because it's fair to say other species will probably develop industry and technology and development as well, and that will have an impact on their planet. And so we'll see the effects of that, and we'll probably see planets that have early climate change or different stages of climate change happening as a result of industry. So that's another musing. And one of the ways, I'll just reiterate, one of the ways that we will be able to say definitively that, we've found an alien civilization is our telescopes will pick up in the atmosphere. They'll be able to detect that there is pollution that could, and we'll be able to say based on what we know of environments and atmospheres that pollution can only be caused by technology and development and industry. So when that, and I want to predict that in the next 20 to 50 years, as we peer out with our new James Webb telescope and whatever telescope is put up there next, which will be better, we will start to see planets, and we're going to start seeing planets where we can say definitively there is industry on that planet because we can see the effects of the industry in the atmosphere of the planet, and that's probably going to be the first way we're going to determine that there is another civilization other than us. So now, about looking to the skies to see whether there are advanced intergalactic species travelling around, I'm not sure what we're capable of at the moment, but if a species is travelling at faster than light or at light speed, or they are using wormhole technology to go from one spot to another, that leaves a trace. So with the right tools, we should be able to detect the traces of traffic around the galaxy and the universe. So if they're zipping around it faster than light, we should be able to see that. Now, I don't know specifically whether we can see that at the moment, but we will reach a point where we can detect those sorts of signatures of faster than light travel, signatures of wormholes, and then when we start detecting those signatures, then we'll know definitively, oh, there's an intergalactic species, they're using wormholes. We can see them using wormholes to go from point A to point B. We can see them travelling at the speed of light. So that's another musing about looking out into the universe to see if we can see any traffic travelling around the universe. So, that's a few more musings on the aliens. As I said, they'll already, if they're this advanced interstellar species like they are in Arrival, they'll already know all our languages and they will do all the translating, and it will be easy for us. We might be able to detect the signs of industry on planets and life on planets with our telescopes, and that might be one of the first ways that we will be able to say definitively that there is an extraterrestrial civilization on any given planet. And one of the best ways to determine if there are any interstellar species is to look for the signatures of faster than light travel and to look for the signatures of wormhole travel. And we can also look for things like Dyson spheres. If you know what a Dyson sphere is, the idea of a Dyson sphere is that you would build a structure around a sun or around a star to capture its energy. This would be obviously a supermassive structure, and only a super advanced species would be able to construct such a thing. But if they're out there, we may see their Dyson spheres, and we also should look for objects that we can determine must be man-made or artificial. So we can determine, our scientists know enough about how nature works and how things emerge in nature that if we see something that is artificial, we should be able to determine that it must be artificial, and then we can say definitively that is an artificial structure that we are witnessing in space, must have been created by an advanced civilization. So there's just a few more musings on the aliens for you guys. So try to be open-minded about the aliens, but it's really important to understand how, if you want to talk about UFOs and flying saucers and little green men, you should learn how to have an intelligent scientific discussion about aliens, and then everybody can take everybody more seriously, and we can have a credible discussion about this subject.